one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you and welcome everybody. Looks like we got, I don't know, a short agenda. Hopefully we can get through this pretty quick. All right, so we're going on to item number 4, campus reports and recognitions. Have anything?
Were there any questions about the campus reports?
No?
Okay, I believe, are we ready with recognitions? We are, sir. So we had our You have been selected as Venus Primary School Student of the Month. Okay. Great job, girl. Great job. This says, hey, you guys listen. This says, let's see, we got her teacher over here.
Miss Allen.
Miss Allen? She's like, it's hot.
Yeah. But she wants to keep the Christmas, you nominate her.
Yeah. So this is what it says about Sophia. Y'all want to see? Y'all want to hear it? It says that Sophia is an amazing kindergarten student, and she's so well behaved and responsible, and always participates in class. And she's finished all of her work on time. She follows directions and tries her best every time. Is that true about Sophia? Yeah, it is. She is one of those students who can almost be invisible because she never causes problems. But we see her, don't we? Yeah. I want to recognize her because she knows that she is so appreciated and so that she is loved by her school. Sophia, congratulations on being Venus Primary School Student of the Month. All right? You have been selected as Venus Primary School.
Friends, we have a special announcement for Coach W, so listen very carefully.
I wanted to present this award to Coach W on being Venus Primary School Staff Member of the Month. Give it up. Yeah. So I'm going to read these what it says about Coach W. It says he is a servant leader. He's positive and wears so many hats for Venus Primary. Here are just a few of the ways that we see him contributing to our campus. He greets cars in the morning, and he works tirelessly to help move furniture for anyone who asks. And he has fun with PE. Do you guys have fun in his class? Yeah! So, and you can also see him picking up cafeteria trays, walking in the afternoon with our car rider line to ensure an organized dismissal. Thank you so much to Coach W and his generous acts of kindness, which are many toward the students and staff. Once again, congratulations to Coach W. Okay, I promise you did watch them.
I did watch them.
Okay, great. Well, hey, we're here with a Laurel and hearty handshake.
Oh, okay.
To present to you, Venus Primary School teacher.
I'm honored. I'm honored.
How
Thank
about
you. I'm honored.
Great. Well, let's see what it says here. We don't have any kids here to verify the validity of these statements.
Well, I hope they would, but
I'll make them anyway.
Okay.
So here we go. Mr. Williams has done a fabulous job orchestrating first grade PLCs. He has kept the team on task and quickly finds out the answers to any questions.
Oh.
Yeah, and he is...
Well, thank you to the boss as well.
He is quick to share his ideas with the team, as you are with me as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Quick to share your ideas. Yeah. He keeps learning in his classroom fun and engaging. He is supportive, considerate, and passionate about his students. very proud to have Mr. Williams represent Venus Primary School, and we want to congratulate you on being Venus Primary School Teacher of the Month.
Well, thank you,
Congratulations,
sir. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
You are the student of the month for Venus Elementary for August.
عارف شو معناتها؟ أنت الطالب المثالي للشهر هذا في كل المدرسة للصف الرابع. يلا هات أحط لك صورة، هات أصورك. أودي لك إياها لماما.
Can you hold your sign up?
This.
Oh, here you go.
شطور.
Okay, y'all can clap.
Can you
That's
hold
good.
your
Good job, Chloe.
Very good, honey.
That's awesome.
Congratulations, Waleed. Let me read this to you, may I? Okay, may I? Okay. Excuse me. It says, Waleed has only been in America for a short time, but he is working very hard to learn English.
يقول لك إنه صار لك أنت بس مدة قصيرة هون بأمريكا ومع ذلك تحاول كل جهدك عشان تتعلم اللغة الإنجليزية.
And his teacher says that Waleed reads to me every day to show me the new words he is learning.
كل يوم راح تقرأ للمعلمة الكلمات عشان تورجيها قديش أنت تعلمت.
His goal is to read 80 minutes per week on Lexia, but he usually gets over 300 minutes per week.
واو شطور. بدل 80 دقيقة المفروض إنك تحصل، لا بتحصل 300 أنت. شطور.
Waleed also takes home extra vocabulary words to learn on his own.
كمان بتاخد كلمات كثيرة عشان تتعلم أكثر.
He is always happy, willing to help others, and respectful to everyone.
شطور. دائما أنت مبسوط وبتحاول دائما تساعد الطلاب الثانيين.
And Waleed exemplifies what a bulldog should be.
أنت بتمثل أحسن بولدوغ بالمدرسة.
He always shows his paws.
يعني
So-
أنت دائما بتمثل أحسن شيء.
Congratulations, Waleed Nassar.
Good job, Waleed. Good job, guys. Wanted to come during class to let Coach Knight know she is the teacher of the month for August.
So guys, let me take a second here to read what this says about Ms. Knight. It says Ms. Knight has fit right into Venus Elementary School. She's gone above and beyond to make sure that PE is safe and fun. Is that true? Yes. She has revamped all of our activities, and students are having so much fun they do not want to leave her. Is that true?
Yes.
So y'all want to be here like all day? She's willing to help out and is never late for morning duty, and she's planning all sorts of fun events for our campus. And she has pulled together a recess cart with equipment for the students to play with at recess. Her gym decor has really brightened up our gym, and she has transitioned into a fabulous bulldog, and we're so glad to have Mrs. Amy.
Wanted to come during
Oh, now y'all get it.
Thank you. Thank you. So let me read what it says about, and, all right, you guys tell me if this is true. It says, Mrs. Rodriguez has an amazing attitude, and she is kind and has a smile for everyone. Is that true? Yes! She is willing to do whatever it takes to help and does so gladly. She has substituted in so many areas without complaining, and we are so thankful that Ms. Rodriguez has come back to join Venus ISD. So, are we glad that she's here? Yes! All right, congratulations.
Oh, now y'all get it.
We're here to honor somebody. I'm gonna let Mr. Hopper, our superintendent, explain why we're here.
All right, we need to see, where is Andrew Lofton? Where's Andrew? Andrew, could you join us up here, please? Yeah. What we wanted to do this morning was, first off, we wanted to congratulate you, okay? Andrew, you've been selected as Venus Middle School Student of the Month, okay? So stand up here beside your principal if you would.
Come on.
And let me see what it says about this right quick. It says, Andrew Lofton is an 8th grade student at Venus Middle School, of course. And this year, he's worked very hard to be a model student on campus. He's made sure that all of his interactions with adults have been positive and polite, and he works very hard in class and has done everything that is asked of him. He will never know how proud his teachers are of him, and he has become an outstanding young man. Is this true? All right. Let's give it up for Andrew Lofton.
We're here to honor.
Good to see you. We wanted to congratulate you on being Venus Middle School Teacher of the Month.
Oh, wow, thank you.
So,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's number one.
Well, let me see what it says about you here. It says,
Okay.
Elizabeth Willis is a new teacher and a new teacher to Venus Middle School. She works as our life skills teacher, and she's been a positive influence on our campus. And she has worked with the staff to help the life skills students become more inclusive in everyday activities. And she is always positive and patient with all of our students. And she has been a huge asset to our campus. We're very lucky to have her.
Someone was nice to write that.
It's all true.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Let's good to see you.
She's right over there.
Oh, Presley's right there front and center. She's on the front row. What we wanted to do is we wanted to recognize Presley from some of her peers as being Venus High School Student of the Month. So Presley, well, how about that, huh? Come on up, Presley. Come on down. Here we go. So what this says is, Presley leads the pledges and announcements every morning at Venus High School and is active in leadership of the Venus Stars dance team. She's equally strong in the classroom, taking dual credit courses, and she is becoming the daily voice of Venus High School. Miss Presley Wood. Yeah.
She's right over there.
Miss Wendy Silvers, front and center, please, madam. You're being recognized as Venus High School Teacher of the Month. So let's see what this has to say about Miss Silvers. Okay.
Who wrote it, first of all?
Well, we'll see. Ready? All right. Ms. Silvers is emerging as one of Venus High School's strongest teacher leaders. She has been instrumental in organizing the highly successful Key Club, as well as being team leader for the end-of-course remediations that are required for House Bill 4545. How did that get in there? In that role, she plans lessons for all of our Bulldog Plus English tutorial sessions and checks in on all of our teachers to ensure that they understand the plan. She is unfailingly cheerful and upbeat and always willing to lend a hand whenever necessary and wherever necessary. Once again, congratulations to Wendy Silvers, our Venus High School Teacher of the Month.
Thank you.
So let's But is Wendy Silver's front. Morning, guys. Morning. What are you doing today? Buenos dias. All right. We wanted to come in today and honor in front of you guys our Willis High School staff member of the month, Ms. Myrna Fernandez. So let's see what it says. Let's see what it says about it. Ms. Hernandez is always willing to help out in a pinch, and she has been helping us when we have been suffering all kinds of staff shortages and stepping in wherever she's needed. She enjoys working with her staff and students, and our students also enjoy her. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Once again, congratulations to Willis High School Staff Member of the Month, Mrs. Myrna Fernandez.
Thank you.
Well, always enjoy those campus recognitions. Okay, item number 5, we don't have anybody signed up, I don't believe. Okay. Item number 6, student growth performance update. Anne Marie.
Hello, everyone. So this will be very short. We don't have a lot of student growth data because we just started, and that's okay. We're gonna just take a look at the student outcome goals that the board set for reading and math for 3rd grade. And the system that we're gonna try to use this year and stick to it is every time we show you data, we'll use the same graphics, same image here to show you where we are as far as meeting our goal. So the stoplight symbol will just kind of help us keep track of where we are, so you can also see where we are as far as making progress. So obviously red would be not on track and we need to stop and consider what we're doing. Yellow would mean that we don't feel like we're making adequate progress, so we want to like revisit or work with the team involved in that particular piece of data. And then green would mean we're on track to meet the goal. And then of course at the end of the year we hope to see that we have met all of our goals. So the first student outcome goal was that 3rd graders will meet expectations on reading. And so in order for that to happen, we have to look at this year kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders, so that stretch goal or the 5-year goal of 3rd graders, we can see if we're making progress toward that. So right now what we have is just an indication of how many growth points we need in each grade level in order to meet that goal. So this is based on the initial MAP growth reading beginning of year testing. And what happens is every student gets a RIT score, and then the system projects how much they should grow for that RIT score. So it was on average about 16.5 points per student in 1st grade. And so that's a total of about 2,300 growth points. That's what we expect to see. And our goal is that we would exceed that. So we want to see that we're growing kids more than what is just expected of them. So that's what 1st grade looks like. 2nd grade, it was the expected growth is a little bit less. So it's about 14 points per student for a total of about 2,000. And then 3rd grade, they are expected to grow about 10 points per student. So an average of about 1,500. And those numbers might change as we get in more data. This was the data we had right as school closed. And so there were many students who hadn't been tested, but we'll get all of that data updated, of course. So this is a projection of where we are. In math, we did test kindergartners in this particular MAP growth measurement. And so we expect a growth of about 17 points per student. And then 1st grade, we expect about 16.6 points per student. 2nd grade, about 15 points per student. And then 3rd grade, about 13 points per student. So when we test them again mid-year, which will be in towards the end of December, we'll have data for you in January to show, are we on track to exceed those growth points or not? And so in between now and then, we'll give you some data on the different instruments we're using to help improve the reading and math scores. that's it.
I got a question. So we did this the same thing last year, right? So as far as where we stand now, how did it look like if you comparing it? I mean, if we did the same last year, was it about the same or?
Yes. So if we looked at the beginning of year last year, we would see about the same expected growth. What we would want to look at is, as we came into this year, was there any growth from the end of the year? We could also compare, like, the first grade students this year, how many, what was their average of expected points versus last year's first graders. So we could definitely look at that data and bring it to you.
Yeah, I was just curious if you saw a big, like one of them was like 16.6, if it was, there was a big difference from last year to this year in that expectation.
I don't know the answer to that. I'd have to pull up last year's and look at it, but I can definitely do that. Item number 7, we're gonna skip. We'll address that on our October 5th meeting. Item number 8, consent agenda. Does anybody have any questions or anything on the consent agenda? I'd like to make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda.
Okay, I got a motion by Greg, second by Katie. All in favor? All right, motion carries. Okay, item number 9, consider approval of intent to apply for P-TECH designation. Mr. Moore?
Yes, just to give you a little background on this, on the history of this progress and process, this goes back way before pre-COVID. And Mr. Hopper and I had conversations. My first year here, we had a handful of students that graduated with 50 dual credit hours. And my question was, if they're getting 50 hours, why can't they get that extra 9 or 10 to leave here with an associate's degree? And so we started delving into possibilities of how we could make that associate's degree happen, and that's where P-TECH first emerged. In looking at what we currently offer, in looking at our CTE clusters and what we currently offer there, it seemed very logical, which led us on the path to a trip to Roscoe and meeting with Dr. Kim Alexander, who spoke to you guys previously. And he was adamant. He goes, "You guys are so much further ahead than we were when we tried to start this thing off, that you're so far ahead of the curve that you've got to get after it and do this," which led to the applying for a T-class grant, which we were awarded $400,000 just for the P-TECH piece. So we already have grant money designated in that regards. Hopefully, by the end of the week, first of next week, TEA will release their letters that we can apply for a designation. We will apply to TEA for a designation application to be considered a P-TECH school. We'll find out early in the spring should we be approved, and it formally starts the process on the TEA side. In the design piece, we're looking at a campus within a campus at this point, where I know some of you may be familiar with larger districts that have P-TECHs and they've got a P-TECH campus. We're just not there just yet, but we will be able to do everything that we need to do within that model as well. Very exciting times, but just understand, as we move into this direction with your approval, we'll apply for that designation. If we are approved, it's about an 18-month process, which we've already started some planning pieces on T-class for the expenditures of those funds. And so what we're actually looking at is a P-TECH school starting 23-24, full bore. So up until that point, we'll be putting all the pieces of the puzzle together to ensure that that's successful. Any questions?
Now, now I do understand that there's that $400,000 that's
Yes.
that's grant money.
Right.
Long term, what are we looking at annual cost wise to?
Well, we haven't done
district? Out of curiosity.
an actual cost projection. This T-class grant kind of hit hand in glove with what we're trying to accomplish because it addresses some of the other areas that we're looking at. We're going to need staff members that can teach dual credit courses. Currently, only our welding teachers can do that for credit. We have to partner with 2 levels of higher education. And so Hill College, possibly Tarleton, UTA, whatever fits our model. We have to have industry partnerships because part of this pathway is by the time our students hit their senior year, it's basically an internship practicum. And so when they walk across the stage 4 years after 23, 24, they'll walk off with the IBC, industry-based certification. Could be welding, could be a teacher's aide, could be whatever. We designate a high school diploma and an associate's degree. And so we're just on the ground floor right now. But we've met with the campus principals. This is a lot driven based off the regional workforce study. So what jobs are available in our area and how can we line up our pathways to fit that labor force?
So with what she had just asked, what happens if we're down the road and then we realize we don't have the funds to continue supporting this after the grant has
Well, ultimately,
ran dry?
what we're going to hopefully create a situation where our own staff are teaching some of those classes. They're still going to be our staff. They might just have to teach 2 classes of English 1301 and 1302, which is freshman level English. And then they teach 6 periods or 5 periods or 4 periods of a regular course. It's not like we're going to have to add a ton of staff. We're going to try to make it work within what we have on staff.
That makes sense, but I also want to ensure that I understand. Is it going to cost us to have this designation?
Right. Now, the pieces that fit into play with the P-TECH piece is because of CTE funding.
Mm-hmm.
There's a weighted funding formula, so we will get extra money for the students that go through that program.
Very well. Okay.
Hollis, how many different associate degree programs do you look at offering? 4, 6, 2?
Probably 2 in the beginning, just based on our current. We're looking very closely at the end game of our cluster pathways, which we know one of them's going to be welding. We know one of them's going to be ag science. We know that computers is going to be huge, and we're just getting that off the ground right now. But that Associates of Science type degree, that's going to be kind of the home run fit for us.
Okay, does anybody else have any other questions or would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the intent to apply for a P-TECH designation.
Okay, got a motion by Katie. You got a second?
I'll second.
Second by Joe. All in favor? Motion passes. Going to item number 10, consider approval of the waiver to use MAP growth readings as a 7th grade reading fluency assessment.
So the 7th grade reading fluency assessment is required by the state, and they have given us the opportunity this year to apply for a waiver to use an instrument that you all approve instead of one of the commissioners approved items. And the MAP growth reading assessment that we use for all of our students gives us all of the data that we need to know where they are as far as their reading levels. Actually gives us better data than the one on the commissioner's list that we were going to use. So that's why we are requesting the waiver.
Would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Got a motion by Tasha.
I'll second it.
Les, second. All in favor? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 11, consider approval of Venus ISD college tax rate. College, yeah, did I say Venus ISD? Hill College tax rate, sorry.
We looked at this last time, and so.
Yes, sir. If you remember from last meeting, we proposed a 0.47245 tax rate for Hill College. Last year, we had a 0.05, excuse me, tax rate. We felt like with the growth and the values that are increasing, we could lower it a little bit. So it's a 0.03 cent difference from last year.
Anybody have any questions or like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
All right, Tasha, motion by Tasha, second by Joe. All in favor? Motion passes. Item number 12, consider approval of district improvement plan. Mr. Moore?
Yes. Based on a little piece of correspondence that we received from TA requiring some updates, specificity in regards to our plan. Since that point in time, we've gone in and sliced and diced and hashed our plan with the help of our district improvement plan, our campus principals, Dr. Morgan, Gay Roden, to ensure that every little T and I were where they needed to be so that we were fully compliant. And the approval of the district improvement plan is no different tonight than it has been for the last years. We just need that approval of the new revised plan so that I can create that into PDF form and email that to TEA tomorrow. The campus plans, as they have been in the past, you will have those in the October board meeting for approval for the campus plans. But this is one that we had to expedite to get back to TEA. Any questions?
Anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, got a motion by Les. Second by Greg. All in favor? Motion passes. Okay. Item number 13, consider approval of corrections to EIC local.
Okay, so basically what we're doing here is, we had a policy that is, just had an incongruent, statements in it. Page 1 of the policy that says that calculations shall include failing grades, when, calculating class rank. Page 2 said that it shall not. Well, it's, our policy intent was that it shall. And so we're simply correcting that incongruency, between us, between TASB Legal and everybody else. There's toggles on these things usually. You can either go this way or that way, but anyway, we just need to correct that incongruency.
Okay. All right. Would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the correction for EIC local.
Okay, got a motion by Katie. Do a second?
I'll second.
A second by Tasha. All in favor? Motion passes. Okay. All right, item number 14, consider approval of interlocal cooperation agreement for dispatching services for budget year 2021 through 2022 between Johnson County, Texas and Venus ISD.
This is an annual contract MOU that we do with the dispatch service for Johnson County. Anytime that I call out and Johnson County has to enter something in the computer, we get charged for it, and actually projected more than what's on there, so we're actually paying less this year, which is good. But it's just a contract between me and them, so if I need assistance or if they need assistance, they can call on me.
Would you like to make a motion to?
I'll make that motion.
I got a motion by Joe. Like a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Les. All in favor? Motion passes. Item number 15, consider approval of raising blended learners MOU between Venus ISD and MCRL International.
Yeah, we, as you remember, we were awarded the Blended Learners Grant, Raising Blended Learners Grant. And McRail is the group that Raise Your Hand Texas is using for this. They're one of the most respected groups in academia. So Warren is going to walk us through some of hit the high spots, I guess, in the
absolutely. And so Mr. Hopper took care of the who. The what of the situation is our MOU with them. We're going to be sharing a good number or a good bit of achievement and also growth data with this third-party organization. They'll also be helping us to conduct student, teacher, and administrator surveys 1 to 3 times a year, depending on the year of the grant. And it's a possibility that we could be doing a student focus group as well. Next slide, please. Obviously, it's going to be through the duration of our Raising Blended Learners grant with the Raise Your Hand Texas Foundation. The impetus behind this is that the Raise Your Hand Texas Foundation, and it's also beneficial to us, that they greatly desire independent evaluation of our progress. So it's not us saying, look at the progress that we made. It's bringing in a well-respected nonprofit organization to take a look at what our teachers are doing, what our students are doing as far as achievement and growth. And they're making that determination about the efficacy of the work that our teachers are doing. And if you happen to have dove in, that's just a breakdown of what is involved in the MOU packet. That's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? I'd like to make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, got a motion by Tasha. Anybody like to second?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Katie. All in favor? Motion passes. Okay, item number 16, consider approval for purchase of 2 buses, International 2022 from Longhorn Bus Sales, okay?
Yeah. Well, as you know, I mean, this is something we budget for every year. Get a couple of buses so that we can keep our fleet fresh, and so that's basically what this is. If we could budget for a couple of drivers for each of those, that would be even better. Sure.
And part of this is also due to the fact that I've had the grand experience of driving a bus quite often frequently here lately, but in talking with Darren and Kathy, there's, even on some of our new buses, there's a little computer module that has gone out. And because of the whole COVID shipping thing, we can't get the parts to fix our bus to get it back online. So we've got buses that are offline that should be online because of a part. So by adding the 2 buses, that gives us an additional 2 to work through should anything else arise in between now and then.
Yeah, it's just an unusual time right now getting parts on any vehicles.
Okay, 2 questions. Are these 72 passenger buses? And if you place the order, when will we have them in service?
These are 72 passenger buses. I believe, Joe, I believe it's going to be a couple of months, but I can't tell you exactly. But it does take a while.
Okay, anybody else have any other questions or like to make a motion?
I'll make a
motion that we approve the purchase of 2 school buses.
Okay, got a motion by Joe,
and I'll second.
second by Katie, okay.
Let me correct that, Joe. These are 77 passenger buses.
Okay.
All in favor? Motion passes, all right. Okay, item number 17, executive session. We'll go into executive session. for 551.074. I think that's all we need to really go in for at 7:42. Okay, we're gonna reconvene from executive session at, what time do we got here? 8:14. Okay, so for, item number 19, there's no matters that were presented for approval. And we're gonna go to item number 20, consider approval of amended stipend schedule. Anybody has any questions on that or would like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the amended stipend schedule.
Okay, got a motion by Les. A second?
I'll second.
Second by Tasha. All in favor? Motion carries. Okay. Okay, item number 21, reports. Anybody have any questions on the reports?
One of the things, a couple of things we do need to do. Need to, once again, establish our October 5th facilities workshop. And so that we can talk about community growth and then the district's response to that. That is a Tuesday, and that'd be at 7 p.m. Lone Star Governance Training coming up for the board on the 19th and 20th of November. As far as the location is concerned, I think I mentioned that we cannot do that in our boardroom as per TEA. That was news to me. So even if we held it in Venus, we couldn't do it here. We could do it at Region 11. We could do it at Mansfield. But I did call today to the city offices and found out that the Civic Center is available that day. So if we could do it here in Venus, but at the Civic Center, if you guys would rather do that, we could secure that venue.
Now, why can't you do it here, but you can do it at the Civic Center?
I would love to know that, Les. I would love to know that.
Is that a problem?
I would, I just assumed we could do it here, and then when I found out we couldn't, in fact, the MOU that we received said that we would do it here. Well, it says Venus, in Venus ISD. And but then when I found out that, well, I thought, well, maybe we could use one of the libraries, and I thought, well, goodness, that's a Friday's a school day. We can't displace students, so we're not going to do that. And I didn't want to go all the way to Region 11 over in Fort Worth. So, would you like me to pursue it is available the 19th and 20th. We can get the Civic Center if y'all would like to do that, as opposed to going to Mansfield. If we went to Mansfield, it would be at their Performing Arts Center.
So is there any cost or?
There's no cost. Well, there will be cost with the city. There's a cleanup fee. When we've used it before for other things, they've waived some fees for us. I do not have that secured by the mayor at this point, but that has been what has happened in the past. So I can't assume that it's going to be done, but it has been done in the past. They've waived all the fees but the cleanup fee.
So it's going to be at a location other than your boardroom?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to you as it was given to me. It's, there'd probably be something very appropriate about that.
Whataburger. There you go.
Whataburger. If they had a room big enough.
This is the one that Tasha and I do not have.
Yeah, you guys are lucky you don't have.
You don't have to unless you want to spend some time with your colleagues. I mean, it's no, but no.
Yeah.
You got that thing? Yeah. So anyway, would you like me to pursue the Civic Center?
Works for me.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
That's a lot closer to home.
Yeah.
Either way, Region 11 is going to be supplying the meals and the snacks and what have you. So, and if we do it here, at least maybe they'll get the meals from one of our local restaurants or something. So, okay, I'll do that then.
Make sure we have coffee.
Coffee, yes, sir.
Nothing.
Exactly.
The next one on here is TASA TASB, or what they're calling Tex Ed Con 21 now, and I will send out an itinerary on that. I will tell you that on Thursday evening, I will not get there till late. I've got a planning and zoning meeting, and so anybody is welcome to ride with me. I'm gonna have a pretty funky schedule, though. I'm gonna get there later on Thursday night, because that meeting's not gonna be over till 7:30, so I'll leave after that. Then so I'll be up there Thursday night, and on Friday, I'll be coming back for the football game. So anybody's welcome to ride with me to the ball game, then I'll go back up there Friday night. So, in the meantime, during the day on Thursday, Liz is gonna go and check everybody in, so save you a little bit of time at the desk at the hotel, and so.
Drive my own car. Is what you're saying.
If you don't want to, you can ride with me.
Hey, can we ride? No, you get there so late, I can't check in.
So,
Can we grab the second Suburban and I can go up early if I need to?
sure.
Question You're the Suburban, right?
Is it's good to be checked into where? That's a big downtown out there, and it's kinda hard to.
We're just gonna stay, we're just gonna try to find something.
Where we're going.
We'll send out, tomorrow we'll send out the itinerary with everything on it. I mean, it's got the,
That would be great, 'cause
Yeah.
it really helps, it even helps with GPS.
We will have, and the last thing I've got is we have our what is now our first community meeting will be next Monday, and it will be a return to San Gabriel Lutheran Church, and so I will I can visit with anybody that wants to. We're going to post it as a board meeting, so anybody, all of us can show up, but anybody that wants to just contact me sometime this week, and I'll sit down with you and kind of go through the slideshow and all of that, and we'll talk about what we're going to talk about. I'm going to touch on COVID-19 mitigation, where we started, where we are. I'm not going to spend a long time on it because it's basically rehash, but give people at least an opportunity to ask a question if they need to. We're going to talk. I'd like for a board member to talk about a little bit about Lone Star governance. Also talk about board goals and board initiatives, such as student achievement and also continuous improvement. And so kind of hit those high spots, and then we will go into some of the things that's going on in the district right now. We'll talk about the P-TECH initiative. We'll talk about a lot of we're basically going to use this time to toot the district's horn. A lot of times we don't get an opportunity to do that. So we're going to tell people the great things that's going on in the district. But then also at the end of that, I'm also going to provide some discussion on community growth. I want to take the opportunity to let the community know what's coming their way. Okay, and it's pretty staggering if you haven't looked at it. So anyway, I'll speak in some very general terms, but I'll also speak as specifically as we need to, because our community needs to know that. After all of that, then we'll have a Q&A. It's going to sound like we're kind of flying low on some of those things, but there's a lot of information, and I don't want to rush it, but I do want to do as detailed a job on that as we can, but then offer people adequate amount of time. We're going to give them at least 15 minutes at the end of it to ask questions. And when I say 15 minutes, the goal is for this thing to be done in an hour, but if it's really going well, we'll track it past an hour if we need to. But anyway, so that's the community meetings.
Okay.
So.
It is next Monday, 27th?
Yes, sir. It is 6 p.m.
Mr. Moore, you have anything, or?
Just real quickly, we've got 7 wonderful guests at the DAEP Inn and Day Spa. It's very obvious that our kiddos have kind of got back into the comfortable part of school because some of their activities have accelerated as of late. And I'm sure Mr. Hopper's filled you in on some of that stuff. Just understand that we're going to take some security measures moving forward to further eliminate some of that extracurricular activity. Any questions?
Is it called maybe displaced? He's talking about.
Something else. What's it?
We're talking about the licking. Well,
The what?
Yeah.
that one.
Moving right along. We actually got spared, y'all can talk later, I guess. We actually got spared a lot of that, you know, but I think it's one of those fads that came and went probably faster than it showed up.
Very good.
I did want to remind you also, I apologize, that tomorrow we're having a very, very pivotal meeting with our mayor, our city administrator, city secretary, a couple of county commissioners, and one of our JPs, and we're going to be talking about, once again, community growth, just to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Does anybody have any questions for Megan on the reports she has?
Reports are in your blue packet. Closing a year, opening a year. If you look at your check register for the month of August, we did bust tail and tried to pay just as much as we could possibly pay before closing out the year. The week that we were closed did not help in trying to get all of our stuff into the office, as far as invoices and blue copies and things like that. So we were scrambling to get a lot of things from when people aren't here, but so yes.
Okay.
The year is closed, the new year is open.
Oh, boy.
We have a little over 11 mil.
Yes, sir. There are some things that we still haven't posted yet. You're gonna have some accounts payables and things like that we're gonna have to look back. Your August accruals and things like that, we're gonna have to take into consideration, but yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
What do you think we'll end up with after all this over?
I'm gonna defer until the audit comes back.
All right.
I'm gonna punt on that one. Yes, sir.
We're taking a pool on this now.
Yeah.
And two, the other thing about this too is we're getting near finals from TEA like every day, and we just don't know what that SR2 is gonna do, and it's gonna affect this year, 2021. So we don't know, and it's October is when you're gonna get some
Yes.
sort of a.
They initially had the SR2 deadline in September, and due to the fact that they didn't know what the exact allocations were gonna be of that 1.17, they pushed the deadline for the e-grant piece of it back into October, with the premise that instead of putting the grant in and then finding out after what you were gonna actually get, and then have to go back and amend the grant and get your NOGA from that, is they postponed the deadline to October 15th or 17th, somewhere in there, waiting on TEA to release the SR2 fund. Then we can put the grant in and then make the allocations from the actual funding amount that we're going to receive, not the full amount.
Anybody else have any other questions? I think it's, let's see, child nutrition maintenance. Mr. Woods, you have anything you want to add, or? Okay. Okay. All right, with that, go to, let's see, item number 22. Anybody have anything they want to, additional they want to request? If not, we'll go to item number 23, adjournment at 8:29.